So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the jewel in the crown of women's volleyball is the Premier League finals here between Santry Calypso and DVC Lions. I'm Graham Bell and I'm joined here by our women's senior coach, Mark Delahunty.
Hello everybody, good to be here.
So, referees are getting ready to take their positions and we are looking forward to, hopefully, which will be some of the best women's volleyball we've seen on this court in a while.
Absolutely. And then there were two, Graham. This is the finals of the league, everything they've worked towards for 2024-25. One of these teams will be crowned grand champions at the end of today.
I think actually that's a really good point, Mark. Like, they all want to win. This is the end of the journey of this year. This 100%. Is the reward. And you know, some people step up to the pressure, some people get affected by it, some people don't deal with it. And we're all going to see it now on court.
100%. And it's an interesting dynamic because you've got perennial winners at this stage in Santry who will be well used to this, and relative newbies in DVC who might be a little bit of a surprise to be here, but they actually look like they're peaking at quite a good time of the season.
You know, great point, because for those of you that haven't followed the league this year, everyone thought it would be a Santry Guardians affair. They thought that at the start of the season, they thought that at the middle of the season, but you know what, you're right, DVC came up with the goods last weekend.
Absolutely, and recently enough have beaten Santry in the league, albeit Santry had already wrapped up first position at that time, but that will instill a little bit of confidence in them at the same time. The hall is looking great. Love the courts.
It's something we've been saying. It's our job here at Volleyball Ireland to provide the stage. We want people to be entertained in the stands, on the court, but obviously it's the players, it's the fans that bring the energy.
Yeah, I can't imagine you're going to have trouble getting up for a game like today. Crowd seems to be favouring Santry right now.
There's definitely a couple more of them. You know, I always love the little bit of extra work from the club to get some merchandise. They have Santry have some flags here for them. You know, getting people in club colours.
Engage them early. And with the Santry under-18s playing in the previous game, there is that club atmosphere here as well for them.
And I think this is starting to see a growth in Ireland of more clubs with youth sections, and I think it's wonderful because it provides, we're not just a team anymore, we're a club. We support each other through camaraderie, through different age groups.
It's brilliant to see. Brilliant to see. I have to say the standard of the under-18s game was very, very good.
Yeah, it was brilliant. I know for myself tomorrow the Docky under-18 boys are playing and our Premier League men play after, but we will be coming early to support them on as well. Absolutely. I think it's a two-way street between 100%. Juniors and seniors.
Yeah.
So we're about to get underway here. DVC to start serving with setter Livia. Goes for a long float. Hand pass, but off, out of system swing and touch. Goes back for the first ball. Nice up by Calypso setter.
That's a good swing.
Great job getting a foot inside, dispatching that long ball. Number 4 serving, Anna Kuzman. Always hard with those really long deep floats. They drop more than you think.
Yeah.
Great touch and recycle. Can we get it up on the swing?
Bit tight.
Jesse swats at it, but they're still going. Mel turning it. Kuzman with the out of system set. Roll by Veri. We go back to Melissa again. Quickest reaction was Jesse, but great touch by Fanjani.
Absolutely. Good early defense from Santry here as well.
Said setter number 2, Palarasso, formerly a libero, so I'm sure she'll want to eat up those cross digs.
She looks comfortable on defense.
Good fix. Push the long
Nice
distance
swing.
from Liv.
Good
Kuzman.
defense.
Tight on the net. No attack. Santry's advantage. Maybe going out, but choosing to play it. Fanjani. Blocked by Mel. Apologizes to the setter. I think this is definitely something for Santry to consider. They've kind of steamrolled the league this year, but DVC have a pretty good block that they have to respect.
Absolutely.
Overpass swung by Connolly. Kept alive by Vieri. We go back again. The touch off the block, great touch. Block taking it longer than what you would have expected.
This is good from DVC. Instead of getting everybody into the game nice and early.
Served in the middle and dropping. You know, wonderful velocity from Mel there.
Horrible to pass those that just drop.
We have DVC 3 serving 2. So out of system dig. We go to the pipe with Ilaria. Setter just getting in the way for a setter, having to take a look not to land on her. Couldn't keep it clean. Starting off at 3-3. It's always, I feel, this first third of the game to 8 points. Both teams tentatively feeling each other out.
Absolutely. We don't want to get too far behind this early stage in the game. Misunderstanding there.
Obviously, I talked earlier in the thing, having aces or serve receive errors is just a bit of a sucker punch on yourself, and early when it happens, it just, you have to respond, you have to be big, you have to swing. Rhea Rosal coming on second serve, overdoing it. So we have one of your players on your national team stepping up to serve, Laura Connolly. Gets good distance on it.
Oh, just wide.
It's something Santry's been working on throughout the season, is getting their middle in on 3-meter ball players. It was a nice decision to tip.
Absolutely.
Not bad technically, just a bit of a bad touch.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too concerned. It was a great decision by Jesse that time. Just pushed it a little low.
Hand pass from Lucia, goes to Fanjani. It seems to be twice now getting blocked. Santry trying to turn the ball on the line. DVC taking a quite stern line block on them. Now you start to see that break phase, that gap growing, 6 serving 4. It's interesting, it's only 1 point, but 5 serving 6 rather than 7 serving 4 is such a big difference in the momentum of the team.
Very big difference.
Johnny, the pass is low, great long distance set by Liv. The dump,
Nice.
It's cheeky, but I like it.
Good choice from Paola there. Nice and early. She holds that block going forward now. Another service error.
I often feel servers miss their 3rd serve. You know, they come in, they're nervous, then they hit their normal serve, and now they feel good, so they hit the 3rd one even harder. So far, it's been a lot of people missing their 2nd.
Yeah.
Oh, great set. Just couldn't get re-established to
Absolutely.
cover. And again, DVC, just that
The
block.
block again. They've really got the wings number right now.
You know, you do wonder the way they're going. Have they been working block a lot in the last while? Because whatever you train is a focus point, and you're that little bit sharper when it comes to the match at it.
Absolutely.
You'd probably think coming in as underdogs, you know, serve and block, really push that defense. Wow!
Straight down.
Nothing the block could do about that one. It's just physics. She's just bigger.
Absolutely. My guess is they want to serve tough so that they can keep her out of the game.
Mel drops it in, goes wide, but long.
Goes long for Bruno. Still filling each other out, I feel, Graham.
Yeah, we've got to this
first phase now. I feel like we're in that second phase to 17. Still no real patterns in the game. It's just a little bit back and forth.
You know,
right
you
now.
took the words out of my mouth. Both teams have tried a couple of different things, shown they can do it, but there's no repeated patterns yet.
Yeah.
Short on Demel, goes out. Great set from the floor. Where are we going? Outside to Lalaria. Again on the line.
That bum set maybe not going as far wide as Ilaria would like it. DVC just need to be conscious of tips now from Santry on that ball.
Swing, but pick. Oh, maybe that was going out. And again down the line, but covered. Wow. Chance to swing. Oh, it's behind.
No.
Is this all Santry need? Maybe not the time to do that. Setter takes a swing.
Another bum set, that's a little tight.
Where are we going?
Oh, we've got a net touch on DVC. Just a little over-eager on that one. Was a tight set. They just need a little bit more discipline there on that block. They've been blocking that really, really well so far.
Palarasso drops it on the arms of Mel.
Just some confusion in the backcourt for DVC on who's getting a swing on that ball. And Mel goes wide on that.
Liv looks like she's got a smack on the thumb. It's usually the worst thing as a setter is get the thumb hit. Finger all day long, but not my thumb. Nice dig by Libero Evram. Short distance back. Viri finds the open part of court.
Open just pushes that long. Clever play.
You know, this is one of the things we had talked about. Philosophy of it's not just winning, it's winning beautifully. For me, maybe it wasn't beautiful, but it was a point and I'm happy.
Yeah. They all just count as one on the scoreboard at the end of the day.
So it's still a tight affair, 10 serving 11. Number 18, Tia to serve. Received by Fanjani onto the 3-meter line.
Just double touch there from Paula.
It's slightly harsh from referee, but he's not wrong.
Technically no, but yeah.
Just having that little turn from Paulo Rasso in the body, trying to hide it, you're increasing your risk that the refs is going to call you.
Vinny being one of our stronger referees as well.
Yeah.
He likes a clean game.
Larry is serving long. It's flat. It's out of system for them. Big line
Good
swing.
but good defense. Block just slowing that down.
So where are they going to go with the free? Back to the middle. Libero steps in. High line, but great touch. Fast to the outside. What
Really
an up.
good defense from Bruno there. And the block finishes it out. Really good job from DVC there.
So it was wonderful placement of the free ball into the crossing path of the setter, making that job really hard to push the ball back to the oppo, and Mel capitalizing on that ball coming a little bit low.
Sometimes that low ball just pushes you to really go aggressively after it helps it. Again, though, they're just struggling to follow that up. There's some good, really good defense being played on both sides, but then service errors or just errors on service points causing issues for both sides right now.
Just long. You know what? I've noticed that a little bit from DVC setter Liv. The ball's just traveling off the net. It's being right on top of the head of the set. Now, obviously, from our viewpoint at side on, we see every minute error in HD, but it's just causing our hitters to struggle at the moment. Had a double block against Jesse. Wide to Finjani. Finds that deep ball.
And a great swing from Julia. That's the second time this game she's found that spot.
So, you know, folks, you've seen it in the last game. Runs can go pretty big, 3, 4, 5 point swings. The higher you go, the smaller these kind of runs become, the less they happen. And you have to work hard to get a point in the first place. And as Mark said, losing the chance to win a second point because of little errors, it's tough to stay in. You're giving teams chances that you should really be taking. And now you just see, after Mark's statement there, we're now 15 serving 12, and if that grows anymore, you start to see a bit of panic or frustration potentially falling in.
I think it's a good timeout from Francesco.
Really good timeout.
Just to try and hold this. 15-13 is a very different score to 16-12.
And Long protects it.
Somebody needs to help her out
It's
there.
fine if we go win the point here.
No, she goes wide.
Unfortunately, difficult for passers, you know, when you play in a big arena like this with lots of noise, even the player standing beside you shouting out is difficult to hear.
Very true.
We are, unfortunately, we would love more spectators in every game, league game, home game, but unfortunately, some halls we play in can be quite quiet.
As you say, sometimes the physics of players just wins the point. There's nothing you can do.
No. What a wonderful back set against the flow of the game.
Set. It's an important point for DVC, I feel, in the game right now.
Well, you know what? I was about to ask you, Mark. At 17-13, there's really two philosophies, ways you can go. You can start putting bench players in and rest any players that are getting a bit frustrated to calm, or you just start pushing the play in terms of making 1 or 2 points. Can you close it? What's your thoughts?
Well, I'm very much an advocate for emptying my bench at certain times in a game, but I don't feel like Santry are going well enough right now. I still feel there's an opportunity for DVC in there.
As you said, if they start turning those 1 points into 2 or 3 points. What a
great reverse
push.
set. Inside. Now I start to think about going to my bench.
Because you can just see those last 2 points, the players start to look at each other, questioning. Very on serve, drops short on the libero. We're out of system in scramble play here. High ball to the outside, but covered. Going back to Jesse this time. Big dig on the line. This is their chance. They got to make it count. Unfortunately, ref with the same viewpoint as us and saying, nope, net touch.
That was 4, but
maybe Vinny having a word saying, I seen it. So another good timeout by Francesco, because you don't want to let, you know, it escalate, and especially once the players also see the score at 20, thoughts, emotions can really go wild if you don't get on top of it.
I feel because DVC are quite new to this environment, new to the grand finals, that the first set is going to be critical to how, because Santry are going to be comfortable right now. DVC are just at worst looking for a bit of momentum to carry into the next set with them. So absolutely, good
like,
timeout from Coach Francesco.
You do hear these coaching idioms from even other sports. You know, you're a good team when you find a way to win, even when you're not playing great.
Yeah.
What you see here at the moment is just they play great, but there's little inconsistencies that when you're playing against Santry, who can still win while not being perfectly on it, it just causes a gap.
I think for me, it's the difference between knowing you can beat a team and believing you can beat a team. Knowledge is something that stays with you. Belief can go up and down depending on situations. And I just think Santry pretty much know they can beat every team. They've been in every scenario. So DVC right now don't want to be encouraging that.
No. It's a phraseology I like to use. It's not confidence, it's evidence. And they've had it all season, the evidence they've proved to themselves. So Connolly hoping to lead the charge from 14, serving 20. Out of system. And there is one back.
And that's it right now. All they need to do is just keep plugging away at the scoreboard. Give Santry something to think about. Goes back against the look. They seem to be targeting Ilaria a little bit right now. Or at least that scene between Ilaria and Lucia.
Normally one of their stronger passers.
Absolutely.
I'd say for me, Ilaria is one of the players who fly a little bit under the radar, but is, you know, the focal point, that silent rock in the team.
It's a misread from Laura Connolly there, leaving the ball that dropped in.
Julia to serve. It's tight.
Unlucky.
As you said, when you split the game into thirds, by the first third, you wouldn't have thought this would be the end result of the first set.
Just dropping inside that one. Yeah, I sometimes think that the second third of the game is kind of the critical points. Yeah. If the team gets away from you in the middle of the game, it's really, really hard to peg that back.
Again, out of system, but it's irrelevant as long as you can still score. Set still off the net, but great fix.
Seems to be something they're doing on purpose. Maybe they're a little bit fearful of Jesse and the block right now.
Maybe.
But I think with Powell at front court, it would make a lot more sense to give the wing hitter a little bit tighter.
Wonderful serve. It's flat, it's clean, it drops.
This is what you want. You just want Julia now to have to make a decision. Timeout calls. Bit of momentum on the side of DVC. But you'd still have to heavily favour Santry in this set.
Yeah. But you know, it's even if we can look here as, you know, the Pookie's favorite and say it's still Santry, for DVC, if they can get it close enough where they go before the next set and they can settle it, you know what, if we clean up that middle set, we're there. Absolutely. I think that's a much easier coaching discussion to have with the players rather than, you know, we kind of got blew out of the water there.
Absolutely. Which in a lot of ways goes back to your discussion about whether emptying the bench is the right thing or whether leaving your perceived starters on. There's a lot of pros and cons involved there. Rotation.
We have a rotationer called for.
Yeah, I think.
I think it was the opposite and the libero.
Yeah. I think she was just out.
Yeah. Now deciding to come in with 4 passers. Onto the 3, out of system dig.
I'm never quite sure about adding passers to your situation. I don't know whether it helps or hinders the situation in terms of creating that added confusion. I suppose if you do it in training often enough, it's not so much of an issue.
I would pretty much come down to it and say only if the pass has to be reactionary, which then leads to me it has to have such a high velocity, which this isn't. I think in the men's game with these jump serves, it may lead till 4 within just a reaction of the arms and seams.
Right.
This kind of thing, as you said, you're going to get 2 people moving to the same ball because they both can make it in time. So 3 meter again. Chance for DVC. It's tight. Great read by the libero Lucia. We go backward pipe. Wow, it's hard, but it's up. And she gets it over as well.
Free ball for Santry.
Oh. Wow.
In the right position, just not getting that platform behind the ball.
So this brings us to first set point. Again, DVC looking to squeeze out a couple points more just to make that second set feel easier. Goes for a slide, it's high, but
of the game. Maybe not as clean as they'd liked it, but effective. DVC could make this interesting yet. Using the block against them.
What I really love about that is she's off the net, but it really tells experience that she keeps it longer, flatter. If it didn't touch the block, it would go deep into the court. And sometimes I see with younger players, they pull it down into the net.
Yeah, sometimes you find with younger players, they're always looking to hit the ball off the spike line, and just in given situations, that's not possible. And sometimes if you're targeting the block, you know, if the block's not there, you're going to look stupid, but the block is always going to be there, so that flat shot is far more effective, or if you're aiming for the tops of the hands.
And unfortunately, with both of us here coming from a coaching background, getting players to change requires a lot of positive evidence that I've done it, I've won it, and this is what I should do, and me and you can pretty much scream bloody murder till the cows come home.
Absolutely.
But until they prove to themselves it's the right option.
And I think that's every coach on the planet is going to have had that experience with their players at one stage or another. Will we see any change up here from DVC, whether he sticks with what he's got?
It's, as you said, it's one of those things. Do you stick or twist? As a coach, if you twist and you're right, you know, you get all the plaudits. But at the same time, you were right. You said, you know, they got back into it. They're not far off. Maybe changing is a little presumptuous to be early.
Yeah, I'd say maybe a little too early right now. It's probably the reactionary thing thing to do rather than the sensible thing to do.
But I'm sure you have that coaching tingle. It's like your spidey sense, and it's going, I'm somewhat confirmed that I might need to change something, and as soon as there's a little bit more evidence from this set, bang, the decision goes change.
Yeah, I think you need to react early if Santry start to get away from you here. You don't want this getting too out of hand. And you got to trust the people in the group as well. They've all been working hard, pushing each other. So it's definitely not a 6 or 7 player game.
There you go. So you might have missed it at home, but we were trialing out our new dance cam there. The crowd's starting to get involved. Weren't too sure what moves to break out until the DJ helped them by putting on a YMCA, and then we started to see the action flying. Maybe
not just a game, Graham.
No.
It's a total fan event, isn't it? Being at a volleyball game. So.
And you know what? I'm sure the players appreciate the noise, the vibe, the interaction.
Really helps the atmosphere.
So I don't know. Maybe we go with the Macarena next.
Maybe you go with the Macarena. I'll stay out of this one.
First ball going wide to Mel.
Great swing from Mel. Oh, he's called him a touch.
Oh.
Well, maybe that ball had died before she got there, but she doesn't seem to be complaining too much, so maybe not.
To be fair, it caught everyone for a loop. Even the scoreboard went the other way. Out of system set. Mel gets a second go. Gets the rub of the green and take it. You know what I love the most about that? Mel's reaction to it. Just that kind of wipe the brow off. You go, woo! Take it.
I give your DVC right now. You take anything that's given to you.
Hand pass from the Libero Lucia. Gets tied for Vanjani. Great read by the outside in the back row. Going to the outside in the front row.
Looking for that spot just between 4 and 5 now.
And this is where you start to see now at more experienced levels, players have strengths, players have tendencies. And again, evidence-based for Mel, she likes that shot.
Absolutely.
What can Santry do to stop it happening more often? Johnny delivering her own ball down the line.
Powering that ball through there, Julia.
Anna Chuchman to serve. It's high, it's dropping. Makes it difficult for the passer. Now free ball opportunity. Of course they go to the middle. Oh, she just reeled Connolly in for the net touch.
She uses the ball so well. That set was very low. Jessie recognized it and just pushing it deep.
I often feel it's, for me personally, it's not a conscious thought. It's a stomach feeling that you see that set and you go, oh.
Bit of confusion on Santry side, gives DVC a free ball.
Goes off the block. Nice use.
Well done, Laura.
Melissa on serve drops it short for Lucia. There is a touch, but Jessie panicking a little bit. Can't rescue it out of the net.
There was just a little bit too much pace on that pass from Lucia, and then everything from there was just a little bit of a panicky reaction to it.
Fast and faster. Yeah. Too fast, too furious.
Good swing this time from Jessie, finding the deep ball.
I do like that as a setter, though. You know, Jessie gets blocked on that, goes straight back to her.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Viri on serve. It's long, it drops, and it's out, but she takes it. So DVC still alive in this rally. Liv decides to go long distance back, the tip. Libro's there to cover.
Well.
Santry go back row themselves, but it's a good chance to set up an offense on the transition. Now we go back to equals. It's over. Jessie decides to try and do it herself.
Again. It's tight set. Oh,
The block touch. Whoop.
Oh. So unfortunate.
Maybe needs to train a little bit more sitting volleyball to get away with that one. But one full rally, you know, there's this stop-start thing of volleyball, you know, side out and done, or first chance on defense, and it starts to weave on both phases of play until it kind of equals out. Liv takes a look, decides to go outside.
Good swing from Bruna, tooling the block that time.
So it was an interesting option from setter Paulo Rosal to step away from the net, block just with their middle blocker, Jessie. If DVC notices and try to exploit the line, because I don't know if Jessie can get all the way there as a single blocker.
Well, as a middle blocker, you're very rarely training without that outside blocker to post up for you.
Very true.
Good swing again there from Julia, recognizing no libero on the court and going after that bottom five. Again, clever play from Jessie there, just tipping behind the block. Everybody expecting that big power shot from her. Just catching DVC out.
Great push by Liv. What an angle. Larry is there. Second bite at the apple. No!
Handling just letting Olivia down there.
You just see Liv trying to take the time, calm herself back down. It is frustrating when that happens, but you know, you can't let it affect the next play.
Certainly not as a setter. Just don't get that luxury. A little overexcited there.
It is something I've noticed all season with Jessie is every ball, every free ball, she wants to contest it rather than get off the net, transition till attack. And, you know, okay, it's a double-edged sword. You live by the sword, you die by the sword.
Absolutely. I like the aggression personally. Good swing from Bruno. It's really good defense there.
Nice.
Olivia with the swing, taking that second ball.
But you know, I'll give props to DVC. They got the ball quick out to the intended to get that line one-on-one against Jessie. However, the Santry defense doing a good system to cover that kind of area. So now you start to wonder if they're really, really cute. Can you just tip it slowly down that sideline?
Totally agree.
Unfortunately, this is an easy one for us. We have no skin in the game. We're chilled. We're relaxed.
This is the easiest place to coach from.
When you're on the sidelines, the stress of everything, it can narrow your vision.
Absolutely. I also wonder, in sports like rugby, where the head coach sits up in a booth and watches the game from above, you get that narrow view of a game when you're down courtside.
In saying that, the closest I've got to is in major beach volleyball events, you can't coach. You have to sit in the stands.
Right, yeah.
And obviously, you go through the pre-game tactic with them, and you see them not doing it in the game. You can rip your hair out, but there's nothing you can do about it.
A bit like tennis in that regard.
It is, yes. So I think as an indoor coach, yeah, you get tunneled off it a lot. It affects you a lot, but at least you feel you can influence it a little bit. A little bit. Tough line serve. Didn't get her body around it. But good job swinging aggressively on that, not taking the free ball.
Oh, just pushing that ball a little too wide from the hole there. Julia just contorting her body to try and get that ball back towards 6. Not recommended for you people at home. These are trained professionals.
Not recommended to anyone over 30.
Yeah.
Coming inside, but finding that line. And even for Mel as a beach player, I'm pretty sure that was inside the 8-meter line, never mind the 9-meter one. Lucia coming in to serve, but just clipping the net. You know, even coming in like that, your energy's a little lower in the corner. And to come on and match the energy of the team, it can feel a bit isolating as a player coming in like that.
Yeah.
Big push. Yeah, unfortunately, just couldn't hold her approach.
I feel like Francesco needs to start thinking about what he's going to do now. Well, just slightly getting away from them.
As you said, it's close, but everything's running similar to what it did in the first set.
Yeah.
So, you know, your probability says it's going to end like everything did in the first set.
Yeah,
So
they just look
what are you going to change?
out of ideas right now. And there are areas that can be exploited on this Santry team.
Like just looking at even, you know, I know teams like to cheer when another team makes a timeout, but it's not even the fact that they cheer. They come off, you see there's a little bit more energy in the bodies on this side compared to the body language walking off saying, oh.
Yeah, DVC just looking at each other now, kind of trying to find answers.
But I always find, you know, when the team plays well, everyone just has to do their job. When the team's not playing well, one person has to kind of take the responsibility, make something good, lead the charge to get other people to follow. Problem is, as soon as you start, you need a second person to come along with you, otherwise it's going to fizzle out.
And there's a fine line, I feel, when the game is going away from you. You don't want a player trying to be Superwoman or Superman. You just want them to do their job and do it well so the rest follow.
Yeah.
But you find a lot of players will
Overdo
overplay
it.
the game.
As you said, worst part is if your best player feels that stress, ends up performing badly because of it, and you end up having to take them out. So we have Ilaria serving, 15 serving, 9. It drops, but not enough. Obviously, Setter Liv for DVC likes to try and make an impact on the game. What can she impact from the service line? It clips the net. Chusman with the swing. Chance from the right side. Good recycled, really well recycled. Long distance to 4. And again, the Libero covering everywhere. Out of system, big set. What can Viri do? Over the top.
Connolly and Judge have lifted that.
One of the hard things is the middle. Get up there, get down, and get turned. Chusman long. Out of system. Wonderful deceptive set.
Super swingy as well. Great set. They have that in them, DVC. I just feel like it's not consistent.
It's moments.
Right now. Yeah.
Moments of brilliance, but inconsistency. It's tight. Someone has got to fix it straight over. So, you know, it's interesting thinking about that. If I was to make a highlight of all the best points in the game, it would probably be mostly DVC players.
Right, yeah.
but not enough of them.
And it's very reminiscent of how Santry have played the last couple of games that I've watched them play. It's just very business-like. There's nothing spectacular, really, barring maybe the odd shot from Jesse. But just teams cannot match that consistency that they deliver.
You know, I do often joke, Mark, that the best ability volleyball players can have in Ireland is availability. If you get your starting six out for the majority of the season, you'll probably be at the top of the table.
Yeah.
If you can't get them because they're working or they're away or they're injured, you know, you're going to finish the bottom half.
Yeah.
And you hear all these idioms from other sports, you know, football, the rest of it. I need 3 or 4 players that are just a 7 out of 10 every week. And this is what you see from Santry.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of 7 out of 10s, and then some moments where DVC, they're hitting 9s, but they're hitting 5s.
Yeah. Yeah. They just always seem to have answers when they're pushed, Santry. Just an extra gear that they can go to.
So we have a change in. Mel coming out. Number 9, Simonada coming in. And again, we've spoke about her before the game, Mark. You know, really good attacker.
Yeah. Just needs that consistent delivery for
Coach Francesco hoping she can have the desired effect. And there's one of those.
Simple play.
Maybe that would be an 8.5.
Yeah, we'll take that one as a coach. You love that. Good pass, good set, good swing, point over.
And Johnny putting a bit of extra pepper on that one. Coming into free. Runs to the outside to Laria. It's a great up.
Tight set. She made really good use of that. Very effective serve Julia has. Not something I'd be coaching though based on the footwork.
It is
right-handed hitter with her leading with the right foot there.
She is a goofy-footed athlete. And some players just never change. It's difficult to change.
Very difficult,
but
particularly at this stage.
She's found a way to manage really well with it.
Very good player, very strong for Santry the last few years now. Multiple All-Star winner, of course.
Paula does well to balance beam on that white line.
Oh.
And this is what we were talking about earlier.
Not where you want to go. They make interesting use of their liberos, Santry. Just alternating between middle players.
It is, yeah. Something I've spoken about to Coach Julio Rico. He feels that, you know, both liberos bring different things, that they're good, as good as each other in different ways. Often the change-up would be as a passing and a defensive specialist, but I think there's often trying to say, you know, both play defense, both pass. Yep. Having one just sitting there, it's tough.
It is tough. Both read the game very well as well. Just a substitution there, Carly Donaghy coming into the game.
Oh, there's a timeout called. Okay. I presume that was Donaghy coming in for Kuzman.
Yes, correct.
Maybe not a bad one to try and close it out. Kuzman's been pretty good. Serving and attacking is a little bit stronger, but Donaghy is quite nimble. She gets across, she gets to the antennas and closes. So maybe this is a nice way just to be disciplined to finish the game off, or finish the set off, sorry.
Yeah, very strong blocker, deceptively so.
And I think, I don't know if you've noticed it as well in training. I've seen some of the Santry trainings. I think over the season her serving has improved massively.
Absolutely. That's something we spoke about very early on in the year with a lot of the squad, the international players, Carly being one of them. And she has worked extremely hard. It's far more
Diligently,
effective.
yeah.
However, her routine is enough to make any coach nervous.
It's unique.
Very unique.
Hopefully it has the same desired effect on the passers.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's a
Great
bullet.
serve.
Oh, really?
Vinnie Collin reaching over. It's probably harsh, that one, given.
I personally, I would be a little hard done by because I think she was bringing it back.
I think she was genuinely
Yeah.
trying to play the ball.
She takes a little nod of the head going, really?
I guess at 22-15 you don't complain as hard as you might do if it was 22
Very,
all.
very true.
Good pass there from Julia. Just a little low again for
Good
Carly.
dink. You know, you get a free ball, you've done a good job.
Looking a bit deflated now, DVC. They really need something to get that energy back on that side of the court.
The
Win a
hard
big
part,
point.
we'll always say, I had it in the last live stream here, going 2-0, you know, third set. Do Santry drop the performance a little bit? Will Julio end up going, come on, girls, you got to be motivated? You know, it's not a choice to be motivated, but when the challenge subconsciously is there,
Absolutely.
we're 2-0 up. You take your foot off the gas a little.
Amazing how often it happens. And I've been involved in a lot of teams. You know, some who are just ruthless, will never let you up. And then others who like that would get a comfortable lead and then just relax that little bit, allow the momentum to shift. And once it's gone, it's really hard to get back, no matter how good you are as a side.
So Lucia gets a second bite at the serve in this set, delivers it on the sideline this time, goes out to Veer with a set. Great touch,
Block.
big push,
Again.
and that's what we kind of
Simonetta showing
expected
how
for her coming in.
effective she can be. When that ball is nice and wide and she gets a good swing on it, she can be very, very effective.
It's something, you know, I talk about styles of players, you know, you see it from soccer or other thing, you know, wingers cut inside or go down the byline, and for attacking players, this cross-body swing, this away from body swing, and Simonetta has a lovely cross-body swing to turn it. Even looking on the other side, Santry's 99 Viri has a really nice away from body swing, and you just got to lean into those strengths.
Absolutely.
Lovely tempo from Liv, just to keep the backer attacker moving forward. You know, Paula's a good defender, but that one came flat and fast.
Again, just reminiscent of the last set where DVC starting to creep back into it.
It's a bit of deja vu.
They seem to like being behind. You just can't give this Santry team this kind of space to work in. There's a couple of passing errors, a couple of defensive errors, so.
Like I find it's one of those ones as a coach, you can make subs because something goes wrong and something needs changed. But when you have players with strengths, where's that balance point between getting them in to further impact the ascendancy before it starts to go bad, and then change them in and back out? And you know, that's the magic point where everyone feels like they're contributing and pushing the team forward, but it's a risk. You can do it wrong and wait too long, and you make errors first.
Making sure that they're not playing the scoreboard, that the gap doesn't become a factor in whether it's acceptable to lose points or not. You just see now DVC getting a little bit of that energy.
A little bit of friendly fire on two national team players. Nothing friendly about it when you're in a final on the other side of the net.
Just wide there from Lucia. Just unfortunate that he's having a good run of serves to that point.
As you said, running the scoreboard, you know, going for that very tight sideline ball. You've got away with two. Simonetta again, the crossbody
goal. Swing.
held her form in the air really well.
Yeah.
You know, I thought she jumped early
She
for
had
it.
a really good hang time there.
I know what it looks like, I just can't remember what it feels like. Johnny puts in system, gets the ball back. Great tip, but we're still live. We got a pipe. Dug up by the libero. We go back to Viri.
Set. Good defense though, Bruno.
Do we get a swing off it?
Swing.
Goes back. Second bite at the cherry.
Good swing.
And I said, you just see that tendency to turn it. It's difficult for blockers. I feel a lot of attackers are more cross-bodied than away from body. And it's like dealing with lefties. You don't see it that often, but when you do, it takes you a bit to go, what just happened?
Yeah, she's very effective like that. She transitions as a right-handed hitter a little wider than I would like her to transition. But that actual ability
But I think that's
to
what
turn
helps,
and swing is so effective. So hard to defend against.
So we got another visit from Buzz. I'm sure they were warming up their shoulder in the background. Buzz actually said, you know what? For a B, that's a hell of an arm swing.
Not bad. NFL, are you watching? Cleaning out his closet here, keeping the crowd entertained.
Yeah. First one, mid-crowd. We go off to the corner now.
Oh, it's long. It's long.
I believe that's called an incomplete pass if we're going with football terms.
So really nothing to lose now for DVC. They really have to go after it. And sometimes playing with that freedom it can be inspiring for a team.
Exactly. It can be a catalyst. It really can. You know, I often feel as a commentator, I feel like Michael Owen was saying something daft, but to say winning the third set is the most important one. Yeah, you can finish the game, but I think if DVC win this, it can be a catalyst to move on to go for set 4 and set 5 as a toss-up.
Sweeps. And it all starts set 3.
So I'd almost compare it to as an underdog versus the favorite. You know, you need to push hard, you need to have energy, and you need to hope that it clicks. And as the favorite, it's just being controlled enough that the other team fizzle out or over-rave, and then you have them.
Yeah.
And I think that's the kind of balance we're going to see. Now, I've seen a lot of favorites that try to go out and bully over the top, but if they make errors as well, you let the underdog in, you give them a sniff.
This is where Santry is so good, or at least have been so good anytime I've seen them. They're just so comfortable in these situations. They don't let the game or the occasion get ahead of them. They just go out, do their thing. 7.5 out of 10 for most of the game, and then when they get the opportunity, you see them bring the power, like Ilaria, Julia, Jesse have been doing when given the opportunities.
I suppose
there towards the end of the game.
I suppose just as you were saying it, you made me realise we could almost say any of the Santry players as we were naming that list. And you know, I've often said to win a game comfortably, you need 3 players in double digits. So you need more options. And I guess the only thing that DVC haven't done so much is ran their middle. So, you know, they have one really good outside hitting and an opposite. The second outside hasn't popped up with that many points yet. The middle hasn't popped up with that many points yet. And I guess your real question as a coach, whenever you go and review back the season or even a final, is where did we make our points from?
Yeah, it's interesting now. He sat Bruno this set and brought Melissa back into the game. And I think Bruno's one of those players who very, very few errors.
Yeah.
But maybe what they need right now is people who are going to take chances and kill the ball.
You know what? I think you're spot on there, Mark. So Chuchman with the deep serve. Drops, we go high and wide. It's a big swing, there is a touch.
Oh, Jesse getting excited again.
Yeah.
I've never been a middle player, but I'd imagine those are just too tempting not to go for the ones that sit up, but they can make you look pretty silly at the end of the day.
Larry eating that serve up. It's tight. Tiptoes, but she was over. That's not what they needed to start. The same thing, killing themselves.
Frustrating as a coach. That
feels like they try to change gear, but they stand on the brake rather than the clutch.
Oh, it's great pickup there from Paula. Oh. And the push deep from Julia.
She enjoyed that one. I enjoyed that one. I hope you guys at home enjoyed that one. So. Interesting to see. There is quite a lot of the players on court serving from deep behind the end line. You know, obviously they're hitting it harder than what they normally would. The ball will drop as it starts to decelerate.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of them serving from position 6 on the court as well, which is interesting. Again, Julia finding that spot when the libero isn't on the court consistently well.
Like, I wonder if it lends it hand in hand to go deep 6 and to have that ball that drops, you know, the area 6 passer being that behind the 5. It just makes it harder for them to come forward.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's what they missed.
Yeah.
And, you know, you do that enough, you start to make Santry ask the question, should Paula stay in the block? Should Jessie go more cross? And then once they start to change, you have the advantage.
Absolutely. You can see Julia already feeding back there and trying to adjust the defense. So now they're asking questions.
We have 5 serving 4. Good left side pass. It's tight.
Just a tight serve. Such a great pass as well.
Great job for the opposite to come through, free up the middle.
Oh, it's a clever play. Not sure she meant to go that deep with it, but just tagging the line. It's good stuff from Simonetta now. Starting to lift her team.
As you said, it's someone making points in a row.
Yeah.
Scramble.
Tags again. This is good stuff from DVC now.
We're going up, out of system. Uncharacteristic error from Ilaria. Difficult set, I think, to turn it down the line even more so.
Yeah.
But that comes from pressure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that comes from what DVC have done in the last points, taking that lead.
I think it's interesting. I was thinking that this timeout may be a point too late. But also, I think that's probably a reflection of how much trust and confidence Julio has in his team, that their ability to get out of tough situations on their own.
It is something I've had in conversation with Julio. You know, he implicitly trusts his players to the point of if they make an error, he's not that bothered.
Yeah.
And I guess that reflects long-term over the season. The players still go for it when their back's against the wall.
Yep.
There's nothing worse than a coach absolutely chewing you for making a mistake.
I think that's ultimately what we're looking for, is players who can still play in tough situations. Free ball here.
Nice run. We're going up. Vanjani from the pipe. Libero eats that up. We go wide. Simonetta got too tight to the ball there.
A little bit under it, all right. Still going for it. I like that.
No.
And now we are starting to see more errors on the Santry side. Just need to be careful.
You know, this is the real curiosity, because pressure counts, but pressure is about duration of pressure, not the amount of it. And you see DVC letting them off.
Completely letting them off the hook.
Because I think this is what we kind of felt in the first two sets, is there was pressure there, but they kept taking it off Santry.
Yeah.
So if they can keep going, I am curious, does Santry
It will be
suck it up?
interesting to see. Just keep tripping themselves up at key moments.
So short on Mail.
Overpass.
Oh, there's a gift. What can they do with it? Down the a dig. It's tight. I know Vinny's strict, but again, I find that, you know, this is one where I could say it's harsh, but I see what he means. I think that's too much. I don't see what he means with this one.
It's funny. I think if you're actually looking at it at home or on the YouTube stream, it looks really, really clean.
Yeah.
You can see a little bit when you're live, but I tend to agree. Just let the game go.
Obviously, things
Unless
will
it's
change
terrible.
up next year.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Having said all that, by the laws of the game as they currently are, he's 100% correct.
Yeah. Hello, you know what? Rules. Oh, unlucky. Rules come and go. I don't know if you remember, there was maybe about the 2000 and something, they changed the net touch rules. You could touch the net, just not the top part of the net. And that only lasted a year or two. So if it is
chaos.
bad, I do expect them to change back.
I've been around long enough to see many a rule change for him. Played the game when there was no rally points. You had to score on your own serve.
Yeah.
Those games were long days.
That was a slog for slog affair.
Yeah. Particularly in junior levels.
Wonderful distribution from Olivia there.
Dear. Oh, we hit the antenna. God, she is lucky. Can you just explain and I hit the antenna?
So Vanjani claiming she didn't touch. He's saying it deflected direction and hit the antenna, so it must have been off the block. Could it have been off the net? Probably not, but
we'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. He's much closer than we are to that. And just long again. It's very frustrating.
Do you not know, Mark? Commentators and people at home are the best referees.
Absolutely. And coaches.
Great short up. We go back to Mail. Up by Paula. We go pipe with Ilaria. Dig by Simonetta. Out wide.
Oh,
Pins that line.
Super job.
You know, you just see some smiles now on the DVC side.
Yeah. If they can just get a couple of service runs together. I know they're ahead, but they just keep tripping each other up on these serves. If they can just get a couple together. Oh, trying the man block there.
Interesting. Three-person block, you know, that really tells how much they're adamant that, or confident that Jesse's going to get that ball.
powering through at that time. Seems to be catching. Santry struggling on their serve now.
The way it's going, you wonder if inconsistency is contagious.
Overpass, it's a free ball, a little bit of hesitation. We get a clean.
So, you know, you start to think DVC are quite happy with themselves, but there's a difference between, you know, enjoying the game and being happy. I think happy's dangerous.
Yeah, I don't want to keep Santry this close.
Yeah, you know,
you want to take the opportunity to get away from them.
DVC were running the show there. I felt they were running the show, and I looked down at the scoreboard. You see, there's only a 4-point difference.
Yeah, it is. It's funny, if you were watching it without a scoreboard, you would think that DVC are much further in front. Those missed serves all that up.
Obviously, Simonetta will be happy with that one. Indifinjani out to Ilaria, off the hands, recycled. We go with the dump, but the Libero gets there, but couldn't get under it. So Jesse on serve.
Again.
It's 2. And you do start to wonder, you know, there's not really been any subs from Santry, and is there someone on the bench that could serve tougher to get you back in the game now?
But she's missed a couple of serves.
It's 2 now,
Jesse,
in this set at least. You know, you start to think,
again, DBC not punishing it, just giving the ball back.
I would reckon that Claudia, Santry's number 9, has lots of experience. Mandalena comes well off the bench to perform.
Yep.
Great set. You just wonder for Mel, you know, do you really trust them? If you trust them to deliver that set, you go and you approach. And there was a bit of hesitation. Yeah. Am I going to get that ball perfectly or not? And I don't like to bemoan it, but this is the difference of teams that train once or twice a week or teams that train 3 or 4 times a week. You know, you build that trust so much more in the system to play.
Yeah, absolutely, the confidence that you're going to get consistent delivery, that you can trust that your release point is going to be consistent. I think that's 3 or 4 serves in a row now from Santry in the net. Just at a scrappy phase in the game now. And this probably suits neither team, really. Even though DVC are ahead.
We got another serve. Another sub. We have number 10, Lucia Sasso, coming out. Coming in, 18, Tia Biskovic. Drops it in on Libero Lucia, into Kuzmin.
Outside.
One of those ones I'm often a bit confused by. Obviously, the pass came a little bit into 2, the middle run straight into 3. I thought the timing was good, I thought the location to the net was good, but it's just distance-wise between middle and setter, and I think good middles get their butt to the setter.
Just very little room to work with on the angle that she approached that ball. Followed by a lucky ace from DVC, but they won't care at this stage. It's all about points.
We go back to Ilaria. Dig by Arapo, out to Mel on the wing. She goes line, she's looking for the touch. Line's judge is saying no. I thought it was a nice choice to go line, but just didn't get the contact on it to wrap the hand around it. You know, I often try to tell the players, you know, no spin, no win. Interesting change, you know, try to stabilize something out now. forcing through the middle, but the blocker reads it. They're still alive in the rally, though. Simonetta jumps into the line thinking it's going to go there from the short approach of Fanjani. Probably not wrong.
Yeah.
But has a nice swing in 6.
Just a tight set there.
Really nice work from Brunilla both times, recycling up into the block, giving the
Setter taking things into
defender
her
a
own
choice.
hands there.
Oh, didn't expect it. Oh, that's nice from Fanjani,
Nice.
just mixing it up.
Great defense from Bruna Conti there.
The chase is on. And you know, do you start to worry now? As a neutral, yes.
I think this is a good timeout from Francesco. They look just a little bit like they're getting a little ahead of themselves on offense and pulling out. And
I suppose you could call it the come down.
yeah, bit of white line fever settling in. Just need to regroup, reset, and go back to being nice and aggressive.
So I wonder if DVC can pull this set, it starts to sound a little bit like how their league game went, where Santry went 2-0, and then there was that kind of reverse on it. And from what I heard from the players, it was the same. You know, we were comfortable, it was good. However, I did hear that in the 4th set in the league game, there was a lot of bench players came in and changed the rhythm. So I'm sure Coach Julio Rico will not let lightning strike twice. Julia Fanjani doing her best to make sure we don't even go to the 4th.
I'm just going to say, I think if you're Santry, you're focused on seeing this one out. Still every opportunity for them.
Oh, it's got the big chance. No, it's still there. I don't know how, but it's still there.
Both sides, unbelievable.
So Simonetta,
gonna get
can't you
control.
get that?
That's a
That's
good
a
set.
wonderful set. Scramble on the Santry side, giving DVC another clean swing at it now. Oh no! I hate the set, but there might have been a sneaky net touch on Liv there that the second referee missed because she's already on the other side. But you know, you'd hate it to be so marginal, so I like the fact that it went goal.
I think it was fractional.
Just that long ponytail.
Some great defense, both sides there, but Santry coming out on top. Just don't want to panic now as DVC.
Lives on the scramble, gets that ball well to the net. Ooh. It's a double block. You know,
That's a good point from DVC.
It's very, very interesting. I get that Jesse's your biggest, strongest hitter for Santry, but, you know, Fanjani's been making points.
Yeah.
Do you use that as a setter? That they think I'm going to go to Jesse and you just keep going to your outside?
Yeah, and I feel like DVC are bunching in the middle
Yeah.
on that block, and you're just pushing it into them, whereas if she goes out wide, then they have to get out and swing.
Away from body swing, dug by the libero, but there is a net touch. And I guess the only thing I'll go back to, Mark, is unfortunately humans are creatures of habit, and setter Paula is just doing what she does in every single game, and it's hard to change that.
Yeah, yeah. And it's hard to argue how effective it's been all season. But teams make adjustments as the season goes on. You've got to adjust as well. Big points there from Santry. 21-22 now.
And you see that with Simonetta. I can see the body turn. I can see her wanting to go line, but she just couldn't get it enough. And, you know, Jesse goes, you know, here's my block. If you hit into it, you're getting stuffed.
I think I'd like to see a timeout from Coach Francesco there.
Simonetta again, this time gets
Good
it on the
swing.
line, but Viri's there. Going out to Fanjani. Recycled.
We should go again.
Yeah.
Oh, double touchdown.
And this is where
I like the decision, just execution, let her down there.
Or, you know, it's my own personal opinion, Mark. I think a lot of the defense should be more in 3, not this 2.5. You're forcing the setter back to get that ball back out to 4 is hard. No. Who?
I will say the refs are very rarely wrong about this. But nope, she's wrong. Commentator's curse there.
What rotation are they in?
Yeah.
The in-setter 3.
I think they're fine, I think. Maria has recognized they're okay.
Okay.
So we'll replay that point. Do we? Well, maybe not. Maybe she...
Oh, is she saying they're in the wrong rotation?
Yeah, yeah.
Not...
But they weren't out of rotation. Maybe they're just next server.
Wow, it stands. So maybe they were just they were standing in the wrong rotation.
So, but interesting. They haven't given DVC the point there. So it's hard to figure out what's going on here. So by my reckoning, if they give that point to DVC, it should be 24. Yeah. So we've got set point here for DVC now.
Having to rely on their blocking defense to get them this one.
Oh,
it's a
hit there, but
it's a float spike. But as you said, Mark, every point counts, especially when it saves you set points.
Like she was hitting a beach ball there.
Santry looking to ask for the next server.
Still set point to DVC.
You know, you can just see the whole team's a little shook. Julio Rico wants a timeout, but the referee's calling Paola over to talk to her.
I think that just the middle player came off before the libero was available to come onto the court, so they're left with 5 players. Oh, he sent her off again. So he's going to get her to sit down on this. Very interesting.
No,
I'm not sure what the rule there is.
I kind of get that. You know, my personal feeling is until the ball's thrown, it doesn't matter. Now, I know the referee blows his whistle and the point's initiated, so it is one of those grey areas.
Okay.
My feeling would be, you know, it's not a positional order error until they hit the ball.
So he had blown his whistle before the change had occurred. Is that what happened?
I think no. I don't think he blew his whistle.
No,
I can't
you're right,
remember, but I think he was close to blowing it.
Why he didn't let her back on the court.
And it's, you know, it's funny. It's one of those ones, you know, a time delay warning and things like this. The referee brings someone over to talk to them about something. If you don't say anything, you probably lose less time.
It's almost like a free timeout right now. I think this suits Santry more than it suits DVC. DVC probably just looking to get on with the game at that point.
True, true. So the odds are against Fanjani and Santry here, but that doesn't mean that it's impossible.
Good pass.
Simonetta gets blocked. Nice recycle. Oh, the confusion on whether to hit on 2 or not. Oh, no, it's down. Okay,
Set
folks.
DVC, we're going to a 4th.
Now you wonder if losing in that manner and those little annoyances for Santry will light a bit of a fire in them for this next set.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who comes out stronger now. I feel like the couple of changes Francesco made in that set really helped DVC.
I think obviously, you know, you talk about energy and impetus, and Simonetta definitely brought that as he came in. And there was different moments between, you know, Mel starting with a little more attack, but who was it came in for Mel?
Bruno Conti came in.
Came in and just kind of calmed
steadied
it.
the ship
As you said, doesn't make a lot of errors, maybe not makes as many points as Mel, but Mel was getting on that fringe.
Yeah, totally agree. And maybe we'll see something a little bit more of with the DVC, where he chooses to use both of them for different phases of the game.
So we have another between set game here. They have to bowl the ball 18 meters, knock one down. She gets it, she gets 2 actually. I had this, we had this at the Cup Finals, and you wouldn't believe someone bowled between the 2 balls.
Wow.
You'd hardly think it's possible.
That looks difficult to do. That looks more difficult than actually hitting them.
Go on, Connor. Nice. I was saying earlier in the live stream, it's wonderful that we're giving these soft touch balls away.
Yeah.
I remember my parents always complained to me about the thud of setting the ball against the wall. So these are definitely quieter.
That does less damage.
Oh, I don't know how many light bulbs I've broken in my time.
Vases and all sorts. As we said, if you get an opportunity, you're passing by, come on in. It's a great event today and tomorrow. The men are up tomorrow.
Tickets you can get online via the Volleyball Island website, or even at the door if you just show up. Cost-wise, they are €10 a ticket, but it's on buy one, get one free.
Absolutely. You can't go wrong. Best show in town this weekend.
So tomorrow we're up with the boys. Starting off 10 o'clock is actually, we have one girls game tomorrow. It's the Division 1 finals, girls under 18 Division 1 finals, followed by the boys under 18. Then we have the Division 1 and 2 at 12:30. Our men's Premier final featuring yours truly will be there at 3 o'clock. Granted, I'll be mostly in the sub corner, but you know, I will be there. And finishing off the day at 5:30 with our Division 3 finals.
Another busy day and great day of volleyball.
What an up from Ilaria. Big turn from Viri, but DVC have the chance to swing.
And off the block and out.
Now, I really like the kind of tempo that Liv keeps out of that back row.
Yeah.
You know, keep them moving forward rather than having to look up.
the set almost forces them to be aggressive, which I really, really like. Santry will not want this game going to 5 right now.
100%. You know, it's interesting you said about forcing your hitters. I personally feel rather than trying to be 100% precise with the location of the ball, getting your hitter to run that little bit faster than what they actually want to is my general goal as a setter. Liv goes up out of system to the outside. The roll shot. Fanjani's under it.
It's quite a clever shot that. She read it very well, Julia.
We go back to Veery. It's flat. It's
just
tight.
Catches the line.
Lines judge says in. First referee, Vinny, decides to go with the lines judge's call.
I think it's a good call from where I'm looking. Just tagging the line.
Kuzman with the deep serve. We're going up out of system.
Oh, overcuts that, I think. Olivia did a great job getting that ball out wide. Emma just overcutting it.
Again, 2 hitters now just looking for steeper angles than what's there. And obviously hitters can snap back at setters a lot, saying higher, further, faster, but I think sometimes more experienced setters need to snap back at your hitters and say, guys, come on.
Yeah, absolutely. Turning on the block now, Jesse.
And a quick timeout.
Again, it's a good decision. I used to see a lot of coaches who will let the game go away from them early. Try and keep those timeouts for later in the game.
I really do get that. I know, speaking with many coaches over the years, have said, you know, when I get into the 20s, if I get there, I need to have a timeout in case I need it. And I'm like, I get it, but if you're cooked by 24-16, what was the point?
Yeah, absolutely. What you don't want is to be left with a timeout in your pocket.
Like, obviously, you were wonderful, Mark, helping me last year during the Euros. There was many times that we'd burnt both timeouts within 10 points.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But it says just can't let them get 6, 7, 8 points in front.
Different levels, that one, Graham. Different levels. We could have had 6 timeouts and not made a difference.
Different levels of stress? So, Simonetta going good from the net, seeing what you can do from the end line. Santry saying, you know, even with a low 3-meter pass, we still run our middle.
Yeah. Just becoming a bit more of a factor in the game now, Jess. DVC need to get a handle on her.
Really the long serve, right on.
Beautiful pass from Ilaria.
Right on the setter's head, put perfectly up for the middle and finds a good long angle. So interesting from Santry that they stack their front row outside, they hide them, you know. I did say in the last live stream with the younger girls, they will target the front row outside just to disrupt that rhythm as they get a lot of the ball. So it's a potential tactic there from Santry.
Yeah. It's an interesting one, actually.
Paola almost with the block, takes the defense instead. Julia having to fix.
Ooh.
We go free
ball. Can DVC finish it here?
It's all she can do with that set, but it's still better than the error. We're alive. There's a block touch. Can they still turn it? And there's the change-up of her going line.
She actually did Jessie a big favor by turning into that there.
but I often feel it's the set's right on the net. Maybe like you're talking 30 centimeters tighter than what you would love to be perfect. And I think players panic and just try and squeeze it.
Santry at the moment choosing not to block with Paola. Just leave Jesse as man on in that wing.
Gets another touch with the left arm. Out to the right. And covers the space. Paolo covers the tip.
Absolutely. Just having that one blocker, it does crowd your defense.
Yeah.
Makes it harder to score.
Oh, gets away with the swipe.
The cross-court shot for the wing hitters right now.
And you know what? I actually don't mind this tactic of Jessie going on one because it's allowing her to use her own experience to say, okay, I'm going to jump more on the line. I'm going to jump more on the cross. And if players have experience, letting them exploit that.
Yeah, absolutely. And just the height difference between Jessie and Paola can create negative situations in your block.
Yeah.
Santry pulling away now. A few questionable looks from DVC.
So the switch out.
Taking out his opposite.
Needing a little bit more oomph in attack. But you can just see Santry getting back into their normal rhythm. Santry doing what Santry does.
Yeah. It was like it was a bit of a blip last set, but normal service resumed.
I never know if it's anecdotal, if there's any stats or evidence behind it, but I've heard a lot of people say the teams that win the most fifth sets are the teams that play the most fifth sets. It's just one of those exposure things.
It would be interesting to see if that's backed up.
I did have it one year coaching a boys team in Austrian second division, and we only won in 5 sets. Had to end up making warm-up t-shirts saying keep calm, win it in 5.
I coached a team, Erlingus, a good few years back, but I think we went 3 years without losing a set. And I wonder, I'd have been fairly confident in those girls in any 5-set game that they'd still have the capacity to go out and win it. But it's an interesting stat.
Goes wide. Great line shot. Unlucky. Tries to wrap over the top of it.
Just hemorrhaging points a bit now, DVC. It's hard.
This is kind of what you said earlier. So Coach Francesco, he's made his twist. He's made his change.
Right.
It still hasn't kicked in. It's still drifting away.
You're sitting wondering as a coach now,
admitting defeat to change back is even worse. I guess this is why we're a stubborn bunch.
That's why we're paid the big bucks, Greg.
Off the net. Oh, Paolo's on the run. Keeps it in there beautifully. We go again. Pipe from Fanjani. Wow.
Great swing. Finding the line there.
You know, I don't think it was a speed thing to beat the lever. I think there was just a slight hesitation on, is it going out?
Yeah. It's always that shot outside you that's heading towards the line. It just creates that doubt.
There was a This time I actually have stats that the best serving is 1 till 5 and 5 till 1 on that seam between the player and the line.
Yeah.
Worst one arguably being 6 to 6, although we've seen it be effective in this game. So this is where you have to really ask. At different levels and different leagues require different elements.
It surprises me. You don't see a lot of it, but both teams serving from 6 today. It's hard to see where Santry come back, or sorry, where DVC come back from this now. Santry just looking total control from here.
And I really feel like for Coach Julio Rico, I don't think he has any thoughts in his head about changing anyone. It's foot down.
Absolutely.
Get to that end line as quickly as possible.
Dear Santry, it's about seeing this game out now.
Any thoughts on MVP as we're closing to the end stages of this game, Mark?
It's hard to pick. As we mentioned earlier, the Santry are just so consistently good across the board.
Like, granted, I think Jesse's been more quiet the first 2 sets, but lit up a little more in this third.
Absolutely.
Obviously, it's hard to argue, you know, the role positionally wise. You know, your outside's going to touch a lot, it's going to serve and dictate a little bit more than what a middle was.
And
but
they've both been quite effective as well, without being spectacular.
We might end up going for a split MVP.
Nice play there from DVC. Good set and good swing from Laura Connolly. Simonetta is a very unique swing. It reminds me a little bit of Gabi from Brazil. That
real comes around.
Full swing, an almost circular motion that they have.
Very finding the line.
Swing from Very.
Oh, delightful. Obviously,
horrible point to give away.
Obviously, Mel being the beach player, but didn't see the roll shot. Guzman with the swing, with the block touch, just doesn't get turned.
It's just everything is looking so easy for Santry right now. Everything looks a struggle for DVC, scrambling. They look a little bit lost for ideas now. That helps.
So back to setter Liv serving, 10 serving 18. Santry controlling this fourth set. Hits it hard, too hard. Ilaria is like, ooh, that was lucky.
As a coach, I don't mind that error. It's a really, really good serve. She's very unlucky there not to hit the baseline.
I often feel it's those ones that you'd rather players over-rev than under-rev.
Yeah, absolutely. Claudio Onario coming into the game now for
Julia Fanjani.
Johnny.
Comes into the game, gets a block straight away. You know, I joined in a Santry training mid-season to help them out, and there was definitely a little bit of fire between me and Chloe. She was like, come on, hit it at me. And kept a little bit of a personal score. You know, I've won against you twice, you've won against me twice.
I like that. Great swing.
You need to have that kind of...
I do like that fire, that energy.
Wonderful serve, knocks them out of system. High ball, but very squeeze the toes to keep behind the line there.
Ooh, choosing to dig.
Claudia with a high ball. Larry pushes it wide.
Set.
Goes back against the green.
Ooh, see what she was trying to do there. It was actually a really good decision.
Yeah. So Simada on serve, 12 serving 20, and again long. So I see that last one from Simonetta. It's over revving, but it's slightly with a lack of focus. It's throw it and hit it hard, but I didn't see the thought the same. Wow!
Great swing that time from Bruno Conti.
And it's funny because I've said it earlier already. That would definitely make the highlight reel.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
As long as the highlight reel doesn't have the score attached to it.
You always have to put these things in the context.
Oh, it's dropping. Well taken by Libra Lucia. Back to Claudia, 0 block.
Yeah, good set this time. Great swing.
So DVC need a miracle.
Yeah.
They're not impossible to get, but...
Oh, we've seen it happen.
I think the biggest comeback I've ever seen is 24-16. Don't know if 14's possible from here.
Very rare at this level.
Mel will be hoping to lead the charge on the impossible.
Yeah, and stand to be corrected.
Does that start the dream? Obviously, you know, it is 22. They have a slight buffer.
Yeah.
But it's really how deep can Mel go to closing the gap now?
Absolutely. I was just going to say that. There is that little bit of a buffer, but closed off quickly by Jess wearing their...
Oh.
The competition between the setters at the moment.
It's tight.
Oh, too tight.
Liv coming out on that competition as the winner, saying I can dump and block. And now you really feel to have a chance of getting this. DVC need to get to 20 in the serving run. Oh, it's gone.
Yeah, you feel that's it.
I think that's a tough error as well for the team.
Yeah.
It's deflating.
Yeah, very demoralizing. 1 point away now, Santry.
So we're here at match point. There's a block touch. 1 match point saved. But there's a lot to ask.
A lot of pressure on Taya now.
Calypso having 3 attackers at the net as well.
It's a good serve. Very aggressive. And a
There's
great
2
second
saved
swing from Olivia.
So again, I think this is where, as Santry just said, you know what, the chance of them doing it is still, you know, you're talking single digits in percent. Just stay calm, wait till we get 1 good pass. We don't need to force anything, we don't need to swing overly aggressive, we just wait for our chance. There it was.
There you have it.
So, Santry do the double, ladies and gentlemen. They took the cup final in Limerick last month, taking the grand final for the league this year. Thank you so much for joining in. Please tune in later for our other matches. Tomorrow we have the men's. I've been Graham Bell. I've thoroughly enjoyed Mark being here alongside me.
Great winner.
Looking forward to the next one.